Hello and welcome back to more Football Manager 2019 with me, Mr. Grantu, and episode 24 of Monaco. Well, here we are at the start of season 3. The summer is pretty much done. The transfer window is still open and there's still some business to be concluded, but we are going to play our first match today, and for the third year running, it is the Trophy des Champions. And this time, once again, it is against PSG because they won the Coupe de France, but we, of course, won Ligue 1, which is far more important. And after the disappointment last time out, where we narrowly lost the Champions League final to Tottenham on penalties, we are looking for a bit of a pick-me-up. We've done a bit of retail therapy, and a trophy now wouldn't go amiss. But I think to start off, it's best to address the elephant in the room, because as you can see in the top left-hand corner, over the summer I did get a promotion. I have been appointed as France manager. This was pretty much the only international job I would have considered taking. I didn't really expect it to happen anytime soon, but there we go. France did get knocked out of Euro 2020 in the quarterfinals, losing 1-0 to Italy, and as a result, Didier Deschamps has been dismissed, and they've given me the job because, well, the manager I set up in the game is French, even though I'm not. Um, but this is going to be an interesting additional thing. It's not going to be the focus, obviously. I'm only going to bring you any sort of action where there's a trophy on the line. So, World Cup finals, European Championship finals, maybe the Olympic Games with the M23s, and the Nations League finals if we get there. But all qualifiers and friendlies, I'm just going to play. And I'll let you know if anything exciting happens. But back to Monaco, quite a few things did happen over the summer. The French league, well, our coefficient in UEFA has gone up to 4, so we have got 4 Champions League spaces next season, which is very nice. But of course, what you all came here to see is transfers. So let's get right on to those. We'll start with the outs, of course, and the release players, and 4 very notable names there. Diego Benaglio, who was our second choice goalkeeper to start with, became our third choice goalkeeper last season, has left the club following the expiration of his contract and has decided to retire. Uh, as we talked about before the summer, Daniel Subasic has been released as well. He's gone to Malaga though. Good luck to him. And Radamel Falcao has been released as well. No one's picked him up. He's going to retire in October, so that's probably why. But 3 players that were, well, certainly Subasic and Falcao, integral parts of our team over the last 2 seasons. We wish them well. Everybody else, a bunch of reserve players, squad players, youth players that were never going to really cut it out. Musa Silla probably the most notable. I was going to renew his contract, but he wanted way too much money, and he's gone to Guignon now on a free. In terms of other outs, then there are still potential for some sales, some signings, and some loans. But I want to highlight the major ones that have happened so far. Isaac Duval, who's one of our best up and coming regens, definitely our best striker regen, apart from that 10 composure. He's had a cracking summer. He won best player and top scorer at the under 19 European Championships, which France won. So I've given him a loan spell. He's gone to Borg Perenas, who I believe are in Ligue 2. Yes, they are. So he's going to be a key player for them, which is nice. Hopefully, he'll get a lot of first team football and develop nicely. As you'll see in a minute, we've made well one big expensive purchase. So I've been culling a lot of the reserve team players just to sort of try and get a little bit of cash. Owen Cardona's one of them. Cardona, sorry, he's gone to Anderlecht for £1.2 million. Johan Etienne, another player that's never going to cut it here, he's gone to PAOK for 1.3 million. Kevin and Durham, who he played a few games in the first season, could have been decent, but again, not really of the standard we need. He's gone for 1.5 million to Angers. And Ballo-Touré, who was our backup left back for the entirety of the first season, has departed as well to Bordeaux for 3.1 million. All of those players we kind of got a bit ripped off on, but I just wanted to get them out. They were never really going to play. We just needed to get a bit of extra cash in. Yusuf Ait Benassa has gone as well. Again, big rip off on this one, but he's gone for £7.5 million to Bayer Leverkusen. He was had a really great season on loan at Saint Etienne last year, but again, just not quite really good enough for us. We didn't really have much space for him in the deep line playmaker role, so probably best to cash in on him because his contract was up at the end of the year anyway. And we have also received the £10 million for Cesc Fabregas. Apparently, the board and fans aren't happy about this. I don't know why, because he's old, he's slow, and he didn't play very well for Arsenal when he was on loan there. So, which brings us to our ins, and we're going to start with the definitely best value for money of our purchases. We already know he was coming in because we talked about him in January when we agreed the deal. But Predrag Rajkovic has joined us from Maccabi Tel Aviv on a free transfer, uh, valued at 18.75 million. I mean, whatever happens, we're going to make a profit on him. Really solid replacement for Subasic as our backup goalkeeper, only on 24k on a rotation contract. Cannot complain about that at all. Another new signing which will probably facilitate a departure. We're trying to offload Valentin Rongier. No one's interested at the moment. But we signed Jorrit Hendricks from, I believe, was it PSV or Feyenoord? It's PSV for £12.25 million. I think just a really, really solid option for us in midfield. He can play in defensive midfield, not that we need it. He can play in defence as well, but we're going to need him for central midfield. He can play in the deep line playmaker role, but we're here mainly for his box-to-box abilities. He's left-footed, which is great. He's a model citizen, which is fantastic, and just brilliant, brilliant mentals, especially down here. 16 work rate's really nice. Pretty solid technicals too. Physicals maybe need a little bit of a tune-up, but overall, a really well-rounded player that is going to make a fine addition to the squad. He's just better than Rongier, and the fact that he's left-footed as well outweighs the fact that Rongier is French. So a worthwhile signing, I think. But by far and away the biggest expense, the biggest outlay in the history of, well, both the save and the entirety of the club. I wanted to sign a top class striker. I think we've done that, but he didn't come cheap. Patrick Schick has joined us from Roma, only slightly more than his valuation. The total fee is going to be £64 million. It took basically the entire summer to negotiate. Roma kept saying they kept saying they were stalling over the bid, and then just deciding that they wanted more money. I think PSG did bid for him, but the bid was rejected because it was well below ours. A few other teams were interested, but nothing really happened. I think Spurs had a bid rejected as well. We were the only team that were, within the price range, and finally Roma just decided to accept it. He's cost us £64 million. We paid 40 million, I think maybe 45 million straight up front, which we could afford because of all the money we made from the Champions League last season. The rest of it is in instalments and possible clauses, so we might not pay that full amount, but hopefully we will, because hopefully he's going to play really, really well. But I think I looked really, really carefully at all the options, and the best striker I really wanted was probably actually Callum Wilson. We mentioned him in the previous episode, but he's 28 and would have cost the same, if not more. So Patrick Schick was my second choice, and I think probably overall the more sensible purchase. Very, very well rounded as an advanced forward. The only thing is his 15 finishing. I never thought I'd complain about 15 finishing, but I'd maybe like that to be a little bit higher, even just 16. We're going to train him up, see if we can get him there. But otherwise, nothing to complain about. Great passing, great technique, great dribbling, great first touch. Off the ball's great, loads of good mentals, good decision making, good anticipation, good composure. Physically, he's very, very solid. He's got strength, but he's also quick. He's agile, he's got great acceleration, a lot of great player traits as well. A little bit concerned by his scoring record in the game and in real life. Season 1, he got 9 goals in 24, and Season 2 got 12 goals in 32 for Roma, which is not particularly great, but he did have a very good average rating last year. Gets himself some assists as well. He's never been the most prolific striker in the world when he was at Sampdoria, and his first real life season at Roma. So hopefully we'll be able to get him working, get him to fire a few more goals. I'd be looking at like a minimum of 20 goals for the money we paid, which would be more than Pellegrini got last season. So hopefully it's a big, big outlay, but we can soak up the cost. So financially, despite that outlay, we're still doing pretty fine. We've got 87 million in the bank. We are well clear of financial fair play. Currently on track to make a projected profit at the end of the year of £46 million. which would leave us well clear of the loss we are allowed to make. So we should be absolutely fine. As I say, I'm going to try and offload a few more players. I want to get rid of Valentin Rongier. I might even get rid of Bushelier. Um, and there's quite a few players in the under 23s I want to get rid of as well. But that is not essential whether we do it or not. The one other transfer I want to talk about hasn't happened yet, probably won't happen yet, but it will definitely happen at one point. I want to sign Alessandro Martinez from River Plate. I believe he starts at Defensa Justica. I think in real life he has either already moved or he's agreed to move to Ajax, essentially as the replacement for Matthias de Ligt. He is pretty incredible so far. He's only 22. Really, really, really technically good centre back. I mean, heading, marking, passing, tackling. It's where you want it to be. Positioning's great as well. Physically very, very good. He's left-footed, which is brilliant because it means we can move de Ligt over to the right-hand side. And the fee we've agreed is £4 million, which for this is an absolute bargain. The problem is he is currently out with a broken leg. He's not due to be back until October. I have already had this deal go through, agreed with the clubs, only for him to obviously fail his medical, and the board pulled the plug on that one, which was irritating. I mean, I guess it's realistic, but at the same time, it's a video game. He is going to get better. His physicals haven't really declined at all. Um, to me, it just seems a bit silly that the board wouldn't allow it to happen, or at least allow us to sign him on a delay from January. But there we go. If the move does get cancelled again, I'll just try and sign him in September and in October when he's healed up, and it should be okay. And he will at least be here, hopefully, from January. With that all said, then things are relatively similar to last season. Then with our new lineup, we haven't really made many signings, just the signing of Hendricks and then the one big signing of Schick as well as Rajkovic. So I don't think we really need to make massive improvements. We got to the Champions League final. We won the league. We shouldn't get complacent, obviously, but we've got a young squad, a lot of room to develop. No need to make any sort of silly wholesale changes. Nobody really came in to try and poach any of our players at all. Yeah, never really had that before, but there wasn't any. I haven't rejected any bids whatsoever for any of our first 11. So this is how we're going to line up then to face PSG in the Trophy to Champions. We lost it during season one. We won it last year though, so hopefully we can get ourselves another one this time out. Lafont is going to be in goal, Mendy at left back, Henriks is going to be at right back because Sidibe is injured. De Ligt and Mamana are going to be our first choice centre back pairing for the time being. Balde on the left, Skov on the right, of course, Rabiot and Tielemans in the middle with Golovin in attacking midfield, and Schick is going to be starting for the first time up front for us. Now, a few players not here because they're on international duty. Glick is injured, as well as Sidibe. But Hendricks, we're not going to see him today. He's at the Olympics. So is Tonali. So is Maria. And so is Almada as well. Why Pellegri's not at the Olympics, I don't know. I can only assume it's because he was in the Euro 20. I think he must have been in the Euro 2020 squad for Italy. But there we go. So as expected, PSG have gone out and spent an absolutely insane amount of money. They've only sold 3 players. They have sold Lo Celso to Man City for a pretty big fee, but nevertheless, 266 million, over 250 million once again, and a pretty absurd selection of players. The big one being Paul Pogba for £91 million. They've also signed Bentancur from Juventus for 74 million, Kasim Adams from Hoffenheim, Arana from Sevilla. They signed Zivkovic from Benfica as well, Andre Ivan, and Marco Bulat. Is he a region or a real person? He's a real person, but doesn't have a face. So once again, some hugely expensive signings, particularly to their midfield. Let's see who they're actually going to be using in this one. Well, no Pogba. He's not even in the squad. I don't know if he's fit or not yet. Bentancur is going to be starting though in defensive midfield. But otherwise, nobody else knew. Adams is on the bench, Ivan's on the bench, Zivkovic is on the bench, but not in the starting lineup. Well, does our slightly less expensively assembled squad have what it takes to beat their very, very expensively assembled squad? Let's see. Golovin immediately plays the ball back to Lafont, and we're looking to work ourselves an opening inside 2 minutes. Balde's in a lot of space. Can Schick find his first goal? He can't. Balde goes for the shot and hits the bar. Good early chance for us. They're building from the back this time. We're looking for Schick to get involved. We spent a lot of money on him. We want him to make an impact. Not yet, but Keita Balde's made an impact. He had an early first chance where he hit the bar, and an absolutely cracking strike to open his campaign, open his account for this campaign, I should say. Balde, brilliant strike, top corner, absolutely fantastic, continuing with where he left off last season. Chance for PSG to respond though, but Neymar's been robbed by Skov. Here's Schick, he feeds Balde, looking for another, and Schick, well, he has the ball played across to him on a plate, chance to open his account, and he heads it over. Corner in from Skov, Bentancur heads it away, and Neymar is in a lot of space here. He can find a cross, he finds Cavani, and Cavani is blocked and tackled by De Ligt and prevents a pretty much certain goal there. Really good defending. It's come out to Mbappe, plays it back across, and Skov has it, and we look to break here. Skov finds Schick, and that's the end. Well, Henriks has found Golovin. He's through. He hits the post. 2 times we've hit the woodwork in this game, either side of the goal, and I don't know. PSG have offered nothing so far, but I've probably tempted fate by saying that. Bentancur has it headed away. Schick's on it, looking for a pass from him. Plenty of players in the middle. He's found Skov. Back to Henriks, and well, nothing really, no one really getting the shot away to Ligt with a wild effort from distance. And PSG have equalised. Why is this game still going, by the way? Is it because I just made some substitutions? It's 90. There was 3 minutes of added time. This is the 94th minute. I was about to do my well. It's been a game of not many chances, but we've ended up winning. PSG have just completely robbed us there at the end, and it's going to be another penalty shootout after we, of course, did so well in the last one. What was that? There was 3 minutes of added time, and then PSG got themselves a corner a full minute and a half after that, and they've scored from that. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Okay, it's another penalty shootout. We had such a fun time with the last one. I'm just really annoyed. That is, I hate it when the game does that. Balde scores. Here's Mbappe. Can he make it 1-1? He can. If we lose this because of a penalty shootout, because of a goal they scored, thanks to Yellen. Why would you go down? Why does anyone go down the middle on this game? Stop going down the middle. Saved from Neymar though. Back to 1-1. Skov makes it 2-1. You can't tell I'm quite annoyed about what's just happened. Ridiculous. Verratti misses. Okay, right. Not as many impressive penalties as against Tottenham in the Champions League final. Schick scores technically on his debut 3-1, and we will win if it's Thiago. Is it Thiago or Thiago Silva? Do they have different notifications? I think it's Thiago Alcantara, not the guy that just equalised. And he's missed, right? PSG need to work at penalties. Money can't buy you good penalties. We get away with it, 3-1 win on penalties, and we get the trophy to champions, which we really deserved on our performance. I'm absolutely fuming that the referee has allowed the match to go on for nearly 2 minutes longer than it should have done, um, and allow PSG to equalise. But it didn't matter in the end. We get through on penalties. We avenge our penalties defeat against Spurs, and we've won the trophy to champions. Yay! Woo! Yeah. Hopefully, that's a sign of things to come. Then, I mean, the win, not the last-minute equalising goal. Well, that is going to be the end of the episode there. Then some late drama, but we got the trophy to champions for the second year running. Next time I'm not going to play PSG in an episode because we play them far too often. It does get. I'm bored by it. So we're going to go ahead and come back around about the Champions League, probably the second game of the Champions League. Depends on who we get in our group, of course. But we're going to play through a good section of games here and come back around the end of September. So thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And I will see you next time.